suppose the hardest challenge of all is when you're in the presence of genius, real genius, is retaining some sense of self-worth when you recognise that you're not either a virtuoso or a musical genius, you know. And one of the hardest things is as a record producer, keeping up with the talent that's in the studio and not becoming so overawed by it that you can't give them anything in return. I mean, my talent is the ability, as much as the technical ability that I've gleaned and learned over the years. I mean, I'm a cat's whisker with a console, you know, and sounds and stuff like that. But that's one thing. But the other part of being a producer is the talent to set the right atmosphere for the real talent to work within. And part of that is never being in the way, so that if he wants to do something quickly, it's got to be ready to go immediately. And I see in a lot of engineers now that I've seen working in studios and on live PAs and stuff like that, they seem to have developed, because audio engineering has kind of achieved a certain status in the celebrity eye. A lot of engineers have developed this monster ego where somehow they feel they've got the right to stop things dead at any time they like because they're not happy with something. And that's, I suppose, okay if there's something radical happening in a live gig, you know, where it's all going to fall apart unless they solder a wire or plug a mic in differently or whatever. But in the studio, that doesn't cut the mustard for me. I can't work with an engineer. As soon as I see that he's got an ego, I chuck him out and find another one or do it myself, because you must never get in the way of the talent. You know, the art, the real reason that you're there is to make an album or a song or a single or whatever it might be. And part of setting that scene in order to give the absolutely best situation for the artist is being invisible. And until you feel that there's a moment where you can say something relevant that doesn't get in the way of what's going on, you know. Because it's also, you've got to have enough self-esteem to be able to say to Cat Stevens or Paul McCartney or whoever it is, no, that's shite, do it differently, or, you know. And that's one of the biggest problems for someone who's, I mean, I've got a talent, but it's a thin, fine talent. It's not a massive talent. And retaining enough self-esteem to be able to talk to big stars and not feel a fanny is quite hard sometimes.